Hi, I'm Teresa Chang.
Hi, I'm Marianne McCara.
Hi, I'm Felicia Grant Cummings.
Hi, I'm Kim Johnson with Moms Navigating Autism.
Last week on Moms Navigating Autism.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about day hab programs. They're hard to get our children into adults or the people that we love into these programs because there's a lack of staff.
There are a lot of people that are desperately looking for day habilitation programs for their children to put them into.
And unfortunately, things were shut down. Kids were home. They weren't in school. Everything was virtual.
There are kids on the spectrum that don't go to day hab programs. They some of them go to college, and then there's other ones who they do trade school. Some of these kids do better on online college.
Hi, I'm Kim Johnson.
Hi, I'm Teresa Chang.
Hi, I'm Marianne McCara. Welcome to Moms Navigating Autism. So with the holidays coming up, do either of you ladies have any ideas about how to make things a little bit easier for our children? It can be a very sort of hectic season for all of us, but I think especially so for kids who have, sensory issues.
Definitely big crowds of people, noise. It all depends on where you're going. Are you having a small group at your house? You're going to a friend's house, a family member's house. I think it's the same as like when you're going out. You just have all the right things for your child that you know they're going to want, like whatever their reinforcers are and things like that.
I mean, I remember trying to bring our son to see Santa Claus in our local mall, and that did not go well at all. And in the end, I had to finally accept that it was not going to happen, and I was not going to have that
Memory picture.
hallmark moment.
I mean,
But,
that's a lot of small kids, they're definitely afraid of Santa Claus, the Easter
True.
Bunny, and it happens. It's just that our children could be like that until older age, not just the little baby. So eventually oh, well, that doesn't work. He doesn't like it. I mean,
Right.
I still try to show Kyler, point it out.
But one has
But
to
I
adapt.
don't care.
Right. Well, actually, now that you say group gathering, last weekend we went to my brother's 60th birthday. And it was just family, cousins. My brother, well, I'm one of 5, so, their families. And my son was there, and, he'd be around for the food, and then he was off on his own. It brought it. I think he had his puka beads that he was swinging for a little while, not in front of anybody, but he was, he was on the outskirts, never in the mix. My sister had to go over and pull him in and say, hey, how are you doing? How are things going? But and I've noticed since COVID, he's a lot more aloof, a lot further out. So getting him to go back into that mix, it's going to be a little transition again.
Is he not interested in what's going on? Is it
He's
noise,
interested in what's
or he's
going
off
on.
like on an iPad, a phone, or
iPad, phone, or swinging his puka beads. But I don't think he brought them, so it must have been the phone. But he, he's there for the birthday cake. He's there for dinner. He's there to get the food. But, sit there and talk unless somebody actually goes up. And my niece's boyfriend, fiance, whatever we want to call it, he actually had a conversation with him. And once you get my son talking, they were together. He would follow him around. He hit the right subject, and then and I had never seen him open up that quickly to somebody. And he basically just met him, and he was talking to him, for the rest of the night, which was a good thing. And then we were trying to go, because here we are, it's almost 11 o'clock, and he's still talking, my son. So I'm like, we have to go. So, but like I said, if it wasn't for that, he would have been the one on the outskirts, aloof. So COVID made him more aloof.
Mm-hmm.
So to get him back in, it's a transition.
I mean, our son will sit and eat with us, and he'll be able to tolerate the noise during that time period because he's eating, he's focusing on the food, he's enjoying the food. But once that part of the visit is over, he'll seek a quiet place. He'll go upstairs to one of the bedrooms, or he'll go downstairs to the basement playroom. Essentially, he'll go to wherever the fewest people are.
Right.
Because the noise of children and the adults talking, if there might be music on in the background, sometimes all of that together is just too much for him. And he has to seek out a quiet place. And then we have to go find him. Let's say, where is he? Is he upstairs? Is he downstairs? When it's time to go.
Yeah. See, it's
If it's too loud, my son does go upstairs also. I let him go up there. And sometimes I'll have him up there as everybody's arriving to the house. He'll stay upstairs so that, you know, the noise, the dogs barking, everybody coming in, he's upstairs. And then when it's time for everybody to eat, because we do a lot of it at my house, so he's comfortable, he's in his own surroundings, his own house. And then, you know, he'll come down and see everybody hang out when, again, food, he's eating, he's watching his little video when everybody's around, get him to hang out a little bit. And then he'll go to the couch area and kind of watch the TV on the wall also. So at least he's with everybody.
right.
But eventually he's like, up, there's the stairs, and he's gone. So sometimes he just wants to go and be in his own space also.
Yeah. So, you know, like I said, he's aloof. I used to think that it was sensory, you know, but then you see him talking to somebody, and then once again, people have to pull him in, you know, to come and have a conversation. It's a little...
It's a social thing, because I think people that aren't autistic they have sometimes an issue having a conversation with somebody, being part of a group. They want to be in the background, just listen in and not be part of that conversation. So, I mean, the more he's around it, maybe, and since he found a person that he can have that conversation with, and they hit it off and everything, maybe it'll make it easier each time he's around those people.
No,
so.
My niece lives down in South Carolina. So it's, I mean, they're both from up here, but she lives down in South Carolina. She has
But
a
more
full-time
situations he's in like that, it might get a little bit easier too. So.
Yeah, the person has to hit on the right subject. Once you hit on the right subject, then he can have a conversation. Of course, sometimes he dominates the conversation. And
some of us do.
And so, and you can't get him off that subject. You kind of have to say, let him eat, or, you know, time to go home. But yeah, no, I was glad he found somebody. And he even said, you know, I found a buddy. And I said, oh, I'm glad.
Holiday tradition tips with your autism spectrum person. While we all love old holiday traditions, some traditions are not adaptable for kids on the spectrum. Make new traditions that your autism child can participate in. Remember, be flexible. Just because your child may not be ready to participate in a tradition, it does not mean they never will. They might in the future. For now, let them do as much as they can, and then finish it for them. Don't force them to do something they can't do. The stress and anxiety levels will be much better when we are flexible with our autism kids.
Does he stay in contact with some of the people that he went to school with, your son?
You know, it's funny, he keeps in contact with his childhood friends more.
Okay.
Than, you know, because they feel like home. When he was growing up, we used to take him to a special needs baseball team in Croton. At the time,
Oh, it was in Croton? Okay.
At the time, they only had one in Croton. Actually, you should put him in.
Elmsford, I know there's one. The Miracle League is in Elmsford, right?
It's not the Miracle League. It's done by the Croton Little League.
Okay.
And they actually have, we had a kid that was blind on the team.
Okay.
So they put up a T-ball, and the kid would, and we would play, you know.
And they have a lot of volunteers that help them with
They
this
have
stuff.
buddies from the schools.
Okay.
And so, they play and the parents come and, parents and kids, if they don't have a buddy, the parent will join them and they go out onto the field. And our kid was always the one, no, I want to go by myself or I'll go with a buddy. I don't want you guys to go with me.
I imagine it's a great opportunity too for the parents to speak to each other and
right. And we made some
network.
really good friends, and this is where he met his friend, and then it turned out they were both from karate together, and that's the friend that I discussed, and they're still really good, really good friends, and mom became friends, and it's a traveling team. We used to go to LaGrangeville, we used to go to Newburgh. One time we went to New Jersey just to play Cortland.
To New Jersey?
Yes, they had
all
this
that way?
big thing down in New Jersey, and it was a really big, and it was really a fun day. They had gifts for the kids and everything, but we went down there to play Cortland.
Just right
next door. I said I could have stayed home and done this, but it was a good day. It was a good day, and so you guys should check it out. The Croton Little League has a really good.
What
team.
ages do they take?
They go all the way. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter an age, so it could be any age. Okay.
Right. And then one time we went to a game and they had cheerleaders with disabilities. It was kind of cute. It was the cutest thing. I really enjoyed some of these, but that one down there, it's run by Tom Bonomo and Luke Regier, and they were the best coaches. They were so good. Tom has a son like your children, and Luke has a daughter like mine, and every now and then, you'd know the parent when the kid's having a meltdown because of one thing or another. Nobody bats an eye. They're over there,
Right.
Nobody bats an eye, and you feel at home. You don't feel anxious, and you feel like everybody understands, and that's like the greatest thing.
Yeah, it's really great to be in company with other people who understand on some level what you're going through, what your life is like, and what your family life is like.
And it doesn't matter the where on the spectrum they lie. They're welcome to play. We've had, like I said, we had a kid that was blind, and
that's hard for me to imagine. But I mean, it's great that they
They
found
had
a way for him to participate.
and the kid would go like this, and it didn't matter whether he hit it or not. He still, they would say yay, and the kid would go run, and he'd be helped. But but there is some. I mean, one of these days we have to go through. I have brought my son to many different, in all these years that I found, and we'll do a show on all the different activities that there are for kids on the spectrum. I mean, they're amazing. Once you go there, it doesn't matter where on it. There's surfing, basketball, baseball, karate, horseback riding. I brought my son, and they're all funded by people. So you basically go there and you get served breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Or no, by dinner we're home, but breakfast and lunch, and everything is sponsored, and it's actually really good.
I remember years ago there was a program our son was in called Heart Song, which did music for the kids, and that was at that point it was held at Concordia College in Bronxville, and we really enjoyed that program.
One of Kyler's old classmates, he goes there or did go there, and they used to do fundraisers for the program also a lot. So yeah, his mom enjoyed that a lot. That program,
and they served a very nice breakfast.
Yeah, they used to have a lot of the surfing camps. We've gone from, wherever, from actually even Massachusetts. We've gone from Cape Cod down to Montauk, or the Hamptons, to New Jersey. There's Surfers Healing, there's Surfers Way, there's all these surf. My son learned to surf through all of these, and he surfs really well. But it's all levels, and they have people out there with them. And some kids just want to go out there and lie on the board,
and just enjoy the water.
Right, and they let them do that. That's what they want to do, then that's what they want to do. My son was like, The first time he just wanted to lie there and it looked like he was sleeping. But then the second time he wanted to stand on it. And they took him out there and he actually stood and surfed. So, it's whatever the kid wants to do. They encourage them to try to at least kneel on the board or sit on the board. And, whatever they can do. But if they tell them, I want to stand up on it, they bring them out there and teach them how to get up on that board. So I think that's it.
All across the US there are free one-day clinic camps for people with disabilities. They range in all different types of sports. Surfing, skateboarding, fishing, water skiing, horseback riding, skiing, skydiving. These camps are meant to help boost the confidence of our autism kids. Go online and search for them. I am sure you will find some near you.
Somebody I know that I mentioned earlier, her son works for WIHD, the Westchester Institute for Human Development, and he puts together this group of kids, and they keep inviting my son to go, but once again that transition with my son. So even though he knew him because he met him when he was going to school at his school district, he didn't, he's still like, it's going to take at least 6, 7, or 8 months before he actually, but every weekend, these kids they go bowling, they go out to dinner, they go to the movies, they go to football games. They even cruise together at one point.
That's great. Is this something like Norwest does, or no? It's different. Totally
it's
different.
Something that
and who funds this exactly? Is it this?
The parents pay for whatever activity they're doing.
Sure.
And then but his salary, I guess it's paid for by WIHD. I'm sure they got a grant. I'm not sure exactly how that part of it was.
Right.
But he works for WIHD, and so he sends out, and it's, and I had to fill out this questionnaire about, what he does and things like that. It wasn't really like one page, but it, he does have a good thing going. I mean, they go to Kensico Park, they eat together. It's a whole bunch of kids, But, and I'm sure that there's more than this one. And then on Tuesday nights, I want to say WJCS has dinner. They go out and have
things.
But it's not teen, it's for adults.
Adults, right.
So they go and they have dinner together. And there's a social worker there, and she helps them with their conversation skills.
WJCS has a lot of programs.
Right. But last year, you had to have graduated from high school. So my son only got to start going last year, and it was virtual. So he really didn't get a lot of it because he would rather meet you face to face and do something than. So he really they have all this virtual stuff, and they really got creative. I mean, the one from WIHD, they were playing Uno virtually. They were playing, through an app. So they got creative. They found all sorts of things to play. It was pretty good. But, there are things for your kids to do. You just have to go out there and find it. You definitely should go on Facebook, and there's groups. Start with special moms groups, and then look for ask moms there. Do you know of any groups where kids are getting together and going out with special needs kids? And from what I can tell, moms are more than willing to help other moms, and they'll tell them. And then you could sign your kids up, but don't have them stay at home, because I know my son, he does not want to be bored. He wants to go out and do things, because otherwise he wants mom and dad to do things.
But they have Norwest here also. I know in this part of Westchester there's Norwest, and that's adults, totally
Mhm.
up to whatever age. They do bowling, and they have outings like, well, before COVID anyway, they did movies, and
Mhm.
they had get-togethers and stuff like that. So Norwest has some programs also
Yeah.
to do.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You
I did,
know,
the only
I
reason I
think
knew that.
in the back roads off of Maple Avenue, I think.
Yeah,
is where
no,
the Lincoln, yeah.
I pass it all the time, but I didn't know about that one. But and the person we mentioned earlier, her son was running, so she included my son in it. So
There's not enough up this way, north here in Westchester. There's not a lot of programs. They have all that. They're more down county, a lot of this stuff.
there
So you have
are.
to travel to
I
go a
have
little
noticed
bit.
that, but there's lots in Sullivan County and in Orange County. I used to bring my son to a social skills class in Orange County. The difference between our area and their area, theirs were free.
Really?
And ours we have to pay, for social skills classes, it's $100 a session.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it could get very costly. I used to pay it, and it's very costly. After a while, it becomes,
What exactly goes on during
they teach them to have when you
social
pay,
skills? Yeah.
they teach them to have conversation skills. Try to teach them to, when a person is looking like this is what it means. When a person, how to look at a person when you're having a conversation, how to
read them.
Things like that. And they charge them. I was paying that until somebody said, you're an advocate, so do you do cases over in Orange County? I said, yes. So then you sort of work in Orange County? I said, yes. She goes, well, then why don't you bring your son over there, because it's free. So I'd have to drive there, but it was free. Here I'd have to drive down there. So from where we are, it's a lot closer. It's the same distance, actually.
Social skills groups for people with disabilities. Social skills groups are small groups, typically 2 to 8 kids led by a speech therapist, psychologists or a social worker, who teaches kids or adults how to interact appropriately with their peers. The pandemic shutdown limited the social networks of many people with autism. Many people with autism have difficulty learning and working in a virtual world. Their social life is solely through schools, employment or community programs. Programs got creative in their efforts to provide some sort of socialization for people with autism. Once they could meet in person during warm weather, they met outside while staying 6 feet apart. However, many people with autism still regressed in their socialization skills. For people with autism, in residential placements and their families, it was harder, as they could not see each other for a very long period of time.
Thank you, Altis, for providing us with this platform.
And we want to remind everybody that we are mothers. We are not professionals. We're sharing our experiences with us so that you can learn from our experiences.
Don't forget to watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Follow, like, and subscribe.